What does higher spiritual awareness actually feel like? Maybe you've come across the term in articles, heard spiritual teachers speak about it, or perhaps you've sensed something inside you shifting, and you'd like some clarity on this subtle but profound concept. Higher spiritual awareness, at its core, is about perceiving life through a wider lens, almost like upgrading from a basic pair of reading glasses to a high-definition telescope that reveals the intricate patterns of the stars. It's the difference between walking through life half asleep and stepping into a new day fully awake, eyes open to the countless miracles that surround us. Many people describe it as a sense of deep connection, inner peace, and intuitive knowing that can seem almost magical. But it isn't magic, nor is it reserved for mystics on mountaintops. Rather, this awareness is your birthright. It's a built-in capacity that blossoms when you begin to look within yourself. In this video, I want to guide you through the experience of higher spiritual awareness, describe how it might feel in your mind, heart, and body, and offer metaphors that help illuminate this extraordinary way of being. Let's begin by thinking about spiritual awareness as if it were a radio frequency. Imagine you're listening to a static-filled station that barely comes through. You can hear bits of music or conversation, but the message isn't clear. Now picture turning the dial to a crystal-clear frequency. Suddenly, the song or the talk show is sharp, vibrant, and deeply moving. That's what a heightened spiritual awareness can feel like. You're tuning into a channel that was always broadcasting, but until now, you just didn't have the right setting. In a state of heightened awareness, you pick up on subtler cues in your environment. You might notice the precise way sunlight filters through leaves, or how the color of the sky at dusk contains a dozen shades of pink, orange, and violet that you never saw before. It's as if life's volume knob got turned up, revealing layers of beauty and meaning. Many people describe a sense of aliveness, a spark that courses through their being, waking them up to the vivid tapestry of existence that was previously hidden behind the noise of daily worries. On a physical level, you may notice changes in how your body feels. Some people report that as they cultivate spiritual awareness through practices like meditation, yoga, or contemplative prayer, they begin to experience deeper relaxation in their muscles and a more steady heartbeat. You might feel lighter, almost as if tension that once weighed you down has evaporated. This isn't to say you'll never experience stress or pain again. Life will continue to present its ups and downs. But there's an undercurrent of calm that remains, even when challenges arise. Think of it like standing on the deck of a large ship in the ocean. You'll still feel the waves, but you're on a vessel sturdy enough to handle them. And at times, a warm, tingling sensation might sweep through your body almost like a gentle electric current. This can happen during moments of revelation or deep insight, as if your cells are momentarily vibrating at a higher speed. Some describe it as an expansion in the chest, akin to taking a full breath of fresh, pine-scented air after being in a cramped, stuffy room. Emotionally, higher spiritual awareness often translates to greater empathy and compassion. When your awareness expands, you begin to sense the invisible threads that connect you to all beings, from your closest friends to strangers on the street. You might find yourself tearing up when you see a touching act of kindness or feeling genuine concern for people suffering in distant parts of the world you've never visited. But rather than overwhelming you, this empathy can also feel empowering. It fosters a sense of shared humanity, reminding you that you're part of something much larger than yourself. It's a bit like discovering your inner choir instead of a solo performance. You realize your voice contributes to a collective harmony, and that knowledge can be both humbling and uplifting. At the same time, old resentments or grudges may begin to lose their sting. It becomes easier to forgive, not because you're ignoring the past, but because you sense a deeper unity and shared journey. Another hallmark of higher spiritual awareness is a sense of openness and acceptance. Imagine you've been clutching onto a rope, tied to a heavy burden for years. One day, you simply decide to let go of the rope. In higher awareness, there's a recognition that so much of our suffering comes from resistance, resisting change, resisting the flow of events, or resisting the truth of how we feel. When awareness expands, you begin to see that letting go is not defeat or passivity. It's a surrender to the natural rhythm of life that allows you to move gracefully through challenges. You begin to relinquish the need to control every outcome. Interestingly, this open stance doesn't mean you stop caring or trying. Rather, you act from a place of trust. When you do set intentions, they're clearer and more aligned with what is truly best for you because you're connected to a deeper wisdom. Speaking of deeper wisdom, intuition becomes another key component of this elevated awareness. Perhaps you've had a hunch about something before, a gut feeling that turned out to be correct. With higher spiritual awareness, these intuitive nudges can become more frequent and more precise. It's akin to having an internal compass that gently but persistently points you in the direction of your soul's true north. You may find that coincidences or synchronicities line up in ways that feel too perfect to be just random chance. Think of it like a cosmic GPS recalculating your route. When you learn to trust these signals, life can begin to flow with surprising ease. That doesn't mean it becomes effortless in the sense that you have no obstacles, but there's a palpable sense of alignment, as though the puzzle pieces of your life click into place more fluidly. And when you do encounter obstacles, you see them more as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable roadblocks. Let's talk about the shifts in perspective that come with this awareness. Imagine standing in front of a massive, intricate tapestry, so close that your nose is nearly touching the threads. From that vantage, you see only a few strands of color, and you may not grasp the bigger picture. Now step back a few feet, then a few more, and suddenly the whole scene unfolds before your eyes, revealing patterns and images you couldn't have perceived up close. Higher spiritual awareness offers that grander perspective. You start noticing how events in your life are interconnected, how certain challenges led you to crucial insights, or how relationships served as mirrors for your own growth. It's not that you suddenly have every answer, but you develop a sense of trust that there is a broader design at work, even if parts remain mysterious. This recognition often brings a peace that transcends logical explanations, a soothing sense that it's all happening for a reason, even if you can't yet pinpoint what that reason is. But let's be real. Higher spiritual awareness is not a perpetual ticket to a realm of fluffy clouds where nothing ever goes wrong. It can also be challenging and can make you feel vulnerable. As you peel back the layers of your conditioned mind and old belief systems, you might confront aspects of yourself you'd rather ignore, fears, insecurities, or past traumas. This is often referred to as shadow work. Think of it like cleaning out a long-neglected closet. At first, you have to deal with all the dust and clutter, but once you do, you reclaim the space for something brighter and more fulfilling. During this process, it's normal to experience emotional turbulence. You might question relationships, jobs, or even life paths that once felt solid. But remember, these storms are part of the transformation. They're catalysts that encourage you to shed what no longer serves you and step into a more authentic way of living. So how do you sustain or deepen this higher spiritual awareness once it starts blossoming within you. Think of it like tending a garden. Your spiritual awareness is the seed, and practices like meditation, mindfulness, journaling, prayer, or time in nature are the water and sunlight that help it grow. Meditation, for example, is less about emptying your mind and more about learning to observe your thoughts with curiosity rather than judgment. Over time, this observation creates a space in which you can respond to life more consciously rather than react impulsively. Spending time in nature can also be profoundly grounding. Walking among trees or along a shoreline can recalibrate your energy, reminding you of the quiet wisdom of the earth. Engaging with spiritual communities or having meaningful conversations with friends who share your interest in growth can keep that spark alive. The important thing is to be consistent, gentle with yourself, and open to the subtle cues that your inner guidance provides. Finally, let's wrap this up with a glimpse of what it's like to live from that higher awareness day to day. It's not that your life becomes a non-stop parade of bliss. Challenges will appear, and emotions will still ebb and flow. But the difference is how you experience these moments. You'll likely feel more genuine gratitude for the small joys. A cup of tea in the morning, a heartfelt conversation, the smell of rain and fresh grass. You'll sense a quieter mind, one that isn't constantly spinning with anxieties about the past or future. You'll notice a deeper compassion for yourself and others, understanding that everyone is navigating their own journey at their own pace. And perhaps most importantly, there's a sense of alignment with your true self, a feeling that you're living in accordance with your highest values and deeper purpose, rather than going through the motions. In many ways, it's the beginning of a lifelong adventure, one where curiosity, wonder, and heartfelt connection guide your path. Let's push a little further to truly meet our mark of exploration. Another way to conceptualize higher spiritual awareness is to imagine your consciousness as a vast, hidden library. For much of your life, you might be wandering only in the main lobby, glancing at a few books on a front table. Suddenly, you discover there's an entire underground floor and hidden wings full of ancient manuscripts, each filled with rich wisdom and insight. Higher awareness is that moment you find the secret passageway leading you to this grand repository of knowledge about yourself, others, and existence itself. You might not read every single book in a day or even in a lifetime, but simply knowing it's there expands your sense of possibility. You realize you're more than your past mistakes, more than your possessions, more than the labels that have been placed on you. You're part of an ever-evolving tapestry of consciousness, and through your awareness, you can tap into that deeper well of insight whenever you choose. In practical everyday terms, this heightened awareness can shift the way you set goals and pursue dreams. Rather than chasing external validation, trying to impress others, or accumulate things you don't genuinely need, you find yourself seeking experiences and creative pursuits that nurture your soul. Your relationships might also undergo a gentle but noticeable transformation. When you're more present and authentic, you encourage others around you to open up and share their truths. Conversations deepen. Small talk becomes less satisfying, and you yearn for connections that feed the heart and spirit. While this might mean some friendships naturally drift away, the new ones that enter your life often have a more profound resonance. You may even discover that you prefer solitude at times, not from loneliness, but from a desire to be in the peaceful, reflective space where insights arise naturally. It's the kind of solitude that feels like recharging your batteries rather than isolating yourself. Spiritual awareness also influences your sense of time. When you're more in tune with the present moment, you realize just how much of life is spent either ruminating on the past or fretting about the future. With a broadened awareness, the here and now becomes the most compelling place to be. You might notice that hours pass without your usual restlessness, as though time itself takes on a more fluid, gentle quality. It's not that you ignore practical concerns or stop planning for the future. You still handle your responsibilities, but there's a shift in emphasis. The mundane tasks of life, like washing dishes or folding laundry, can become mini meditations, opportunities to savor the simplicity of being. This doesn't mean you won't ever get bored or frustrated, but even those feelings are observed with greater compassion. You start to see them as part of the ever-changing tapestry of human experience, rather than as personal failings or catastrophes. Another important aspect to note is how higher spiritual awareness can change your relationship with fear. Fear doesn't necessarily vanish, but it loses its ability to paralyze you. If you visualize fear as a large shadow cast on a wall, you begin to recognize that the source might just be a small object that looms large in your mind. The light of awareness shrinks that shadow, allowing you to approach fears more calmly, understanding them as signals rather than threats. This shift in perspective can be incredibly freeing. You may take more creative risks, speak your truth more openly, or step into leadership roles you once shied away from. There's a sense of inner sturdiness, a recognition that, while discomfort and uncertainty are part of life, you have the inner tools and the resilience to navigate them. It's like having a flashlight in the dark. You might not see the entire path, but you trust that each step you illuminate guides you closer to where you need to be. So what does higher spiritual awareness feel like? It feels like coming home to yourself. It's a subtle but unmistakable shift, a gentle blossoming of empathy, intuition, presence, trust, and openness. Life still happens. You'll still face heartbreaks, disappointments, and doubts. But underneath it all, there's a sturdy current of peace and a sense that you're intimately connected with something larger and wiser than your everyday ego. It's the exquisite realization that the same creative force that orchestrates the galaxies is present in every cell of your being, guiding you toward growth, love, and understanding. When you tune into this awareness, you'll notice a new vibrancy coloring your life. You'll approach challenges with more courage, relationships with more kindness, and solitude with more serenity. As you continue on your own journey, remember that spiritual awareness is not a destination, but an evolving process. Like a sunrise that steadily lights up the sky, each moment of clarity paves the way for the next. So be gentle with yourself, explore practices that resonate with your soul, and watch as this awareness unfolds in your daily life. If you found value in today's video, feel free to like and share it. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more insights on living a spiritually vibrant life. Until next time.